So let me see. So we have our WebMaker folder here, all right? So let me just right-click, open with code. All right. Okay. So inside here, you actually can see we have all our code in the client folder, and this is also the reason why we have a client folder. Like we want to have all the client side code in the client side folder. Right, so all the client side code is in the client side folder. By client side, we mean your own computer. Right, so we also have the server side, which is got code running on the server computer. So we're going to just using the outside folder to represent the server side folder. Right. we're gonna put all our code inside the outside folder to we're basically trying to create a server and ready to accept to listening to any incoming request from the client side and give back a response. Right, as all the server side does. It should be able to listening the incoming request from the client side and give back a response. All right. So we're going to do first do an npm init to initialize the WebMaker folder to using the npm to manage this folder. All right, npm initialize, npm init. All right, it's gonna ask you a few questions. Firstly, what is the package name? Just hit enter. Using the default name, WebMaker new. Version, hit enter. Description, you can just put enter here. And the entry point, we're going to change this one to server.js. Right, it default is index.js. We're going to change it to another name, server.js. And test command, enter, enter. Keywords, just hit enter. The author, you can just put your name here. And put my name, you can put your names. And license is just skip. Is that okay? Yes. It's basically just going to create a package, the JSON file, includes the information you just provided, right? The name, the version, the description, right? All the things, right? So basically just include all the information just provided to it. Right. So this is also writing inside the assignment description here. That's the first step. Run the npm init. Right. You're gonna be careful. You run it not in the client side folder, the outside folder, right? The WebMaker folder. We want to separate them. So right now we have two packages JSON. One is for the client side. One is for the outside, which is the server side. Right. That's gonna be the first step. Should be very straightforward. Just npm init and hit enter, enter, enter to initialize it. Alright, so then we need to change the entry point and start Node.js server.js into the script. So what I mean here is actually we will change the scripts here. Right, so in the package here, line 7, you have test, blah blah blah. We're gonna delete that. We don't need that. We're gonna add in a new one. Is start column and says node server.js. Right, that's all you need to do inside this file. Yeah, erase the test, change it to start. Let me just increase the font size so it's easier for you to see it. Yeah, erase the test, just change it to start and node server.js. Right. Dependencies? I don't have any dependencies in here. You shouldn't have any dependencies. Because we just initialize it. We haven't installed any packages inside here. Right, so create the package JSON inside the server side, and we're basically just using the npm to manage it. Right, that's our first step. Right, It's first step here. And now we need to create a server.js file, which is going to be the entry point for our server side. So we're going to create a new file here. Create a new file called server.js. Alright, server.js. And the code, actually, I already put it here. We need a few lines of code. Alright, so copy that, just the code here. Alright, few lines, I'm gonna put it inside here. Alright, and let me explain them line by line. So the first line here, we are import a library called Express, and then we initialize it. Right. So firstly, we import Express library, and then we initialize it. Create the app, which is from the we'll create a variable called app, which is from the Express library, and then we can use that to create a server. Create a server, and the listening at localhost 3100. So this is basically what we do by the three things here. So Express is a library. If you can just Google it, express.js, not JSON, express.js. That is a library. Just make it easy to create a server, right? So the code actually provided here is from the get started. They provide some code here, right, to tell us how to use it. Right, the code I have here is the first line, the second line, and the third line, last line here. Right, just create a basic server that can listen in the request at localhost 3100. All right. So to use the Express library, we of course need to install that library. Right. We haven't installed that yet. So we're going to use npm in the terminal. Npm install. Just you can put I here. Npm I express. Right, npm install the Express library. Hit enter. Should be very fast. It's just a very lightweighted library. Right. So once you install that, you should be able to see the the Express as the dependencies inside your package.json here. Well, we just install the Express, and it's going to adding that Express as a dependencies in your package.json here. All right. So make sure you have that here, and you'll be able to use the Express in your server side. All right. So that's a basic setup, and then now we will introduce a couple concept here. So the first one is why are you actually using the Node.js? Right? If you remember that, we actually installed the Node.js before, right? So the the reason we installed that was we want to use the npm to help us to install our libraries. Right? We use that to install our React, and we just use it to install the Express. And Node.js does more than that, right? npm is one of its core function, but another one is it creates an environment allows you to run the JavaScript code, right? So what do I mean is, so the JavaScript code if you want to run it, you have to have the browser. Right, you need to run it inside the browser. Like inside the console here, you can do like a JavaScript code, like a 1 + 1 = 2, or you can do console.log hello. Like you run the JavaScript code inside the the browser. Right, this is how JavaScript can be used. And if you are trying to directly run it in the terminal, right, in your computer without the browser, like you say 1 + 1, well, it's not work. Like I say console.log, it's not gonna work. Like it is not able to run JavaScript code directly. So Node.js is used to allows you to run JavaScript code. Right. For example, let me just quickly erase this up for a second. If I have a JavaScript code here, I say console.log hello. Right, I can run this code inside my browser, or I can just say node server.js. Please use Node to run this file, and it's gonna console log out hello for me, because this is what I have in this file. I can have console log 1 + 1 + 1. It should give me a 3, right? I can just node this file to run it and give me a 3. So this is what Node does. But it's nothing else, just allows you to run the JavaScript code without the browser. Right. And now we are also going to using Node to run this file here. Right, this file here to listen in our application. So what we can do is we can do a node server.js, right? Use Node to run this file, and you're gonna see is server started on port 3100, and it's gonna run there forever, just like the React npm start. It's gonna keep running there, waiting for your any incoming requests. All right. So once that's running, you can go to your browser, go to localhost :3100, and this is a server running. This is by default. It just says cannot get slash, because we do not set it up yet. Just have it running. I should be able to see that. But I go to the localhost 3100 when this is running. It's gonna server started on port 3100, and it just started here.
What would you have to download to get that? Download on the GitHub? I mean on the Git bash?
You don't have to download anything.
Okay, just type that in and nothing.
Yeah. All right. Instead of type nodes server.js, we're actually going to using a shorter version. You just do npm start. That's what we have in the package JSON here. Remember that in the scripts here, I said a start. That means when you do an npm start, it's going to do a node server.js for you. That's what we have in our scripts here. We said, right? We can give it like some custom commands here. When I do the npm start, please do the node server.js for me. Right? Npm start is just doing the exactly same thing. Right? Doing the node server.js and do the server started on port 3100. Right? It's the same thing. Just make the command shorter. Right? Later we may have more commands like a npm start, npm build, npm stop, something like that. You can any more commands here.
Something on that page down at the bottom then? That's still not, it says you mentioned
Huh?
Can you scroll down for me please? The express.
Express?
On the package. Yeah. Can you scroll down? Yeah.
This one, this is npm install to install that. npm install express to install that library. No save. Don't need to save. Well, you used to need to do the save, like in the old version of Node. Like you have to save it. Otherwise, when you so well, like 2 years ago, when you try to install a library, you need to do the npm install the library's name, like express, and you need to have a -- save means please save this in the package.js. Otherwise, it won't be saved. But right now, like it's just if you do not put a save, it's gonna be there by default.
It will save by default?
Yes, it will save by default. You don't have to do that right now.
What if I did?
It's still gonna be there, right? It's okay. It's still fine. Alright, so npm I express to install the library again. Alright, so if already lost, just watch me do that. Alright. So right now we install the express library. Right, in our and we can do the npm start to run our application. Right, on our server side, make it ready to start a server in the 3100. Right, you should be able to see that when you open the browser, go to local 3100. So you're gonna say cannot get / that means the server is successfully started, and we're gonna be able to add any more functions into it. Right, let's say what's next. Right, so before we go to the next step, we want to go back to the client side to let you know something here. Right, so let you know something here. Right, so in the client side, we have our React running there to do our. Remember, the React is only running on your client side. It doesn't care about anything you do for your server side. Right, so in your client side, we're using the React. You know, like let me just open a new terminal here. Right, cd into client folder. Right, you know, to run this application in the client side, you can also do the npm start here to run the client side, make it running. All right, and just give it 1 second. Just want to wait for start to show the application. All right, so do the npm start, you'll be able to see like how your page looks like, how to run it. But that is in when you do npm start, that is still in a test mode. We actually call it development mode. It's like a preview of your application. Like you can using npm start to preview your application, how it looks like, and fix some things, make sure everything is working. But once you finish, we need to tell the React everything is done. We want to move it to the next stage. That's called a production mode. Move that to production mode. That means we want to create it as a production. We're gonna change it to a production mode. Right, that means like the application is ready. We want to create it as a production. Right. npm start is just for a preview. So what you can see here is actually a preview. And it won't work if you didn't move that to production mode. The reason for that is because React, remember React is using a new language called JSX. Right? It allows you to using HTML inside JavaScript. That's a new language. But the browser doesn't really know what is JSX. The browser itself only can read the JavaScript. It cannot read JSX. And by moving your React from development mode to the production mode, it will transfer the JSX into the JavaScript, and the browsers can read it. And the only thing that's the only thing it does. It's going to transfer all your JavaScript code, JSX code, like all your components, all your stuff, into the regular JavaScript code, so the browser can understand what you did right there. Right? So it is very easy to transfer that. And what we're gonna do here is, let me see. So this is npm start, right? It's running compile successfully. We can actually stop it. Right? We don't need to do that. So the command here is actually listed in the package.json here. We're gonna use the script npm build to build it as a production. So we're gonna do the npm run build. That's the command to create the production for your client side. If you do that, remember, make sure you do that in the client side folder, right? Not in the maker folder. Maker folder is right now, it contains your server side, and all your client side code is in the client side client folder. And you're gonna do the cd client, go into that there, and then do the npm run build. This is not required in this assignment. I didn't put it here because when we send this online, the hosting will do it automatically for us. I just want to show you how it looks like when you do it. So this is why I didn't see you need to do the npm run build inside here. I didn't put this here as a step. So when you send it to online, it will automatically do it for you. Right? So let me show you like what is happening after you do it. So after you do the npm run build, it's going to tell you like the project was built, blah blah blah, and the build folder is ready to be deployed. And since like everything is ready, and what it does actually is create a folder called build inside here. All right, let me just open it from my computer here. Right, in your client folder, you should see there is a new folder created called build. You shouldn't have that before doing that. I should have a build folder here. Inside the build folder, you actually have a index.html. Let me just open this with live server. Sorry, not open with code. You should be able to see what we have inside here. Alright, so this is have a few things here. The logo, as just the old logos, we don't have to care about them. And the most important thing here, firstly, is the index.html. I just have a to minimize the size. It's just erase all the space inside it. But basically, just have some scripts tag inside here. Right? You just have a scripts tag inside here. You just have one line of code. So just try to minimize the size of the file. And it has some JavaScript code inside here, inside your statics, have CSS and JavaScript. And if you open that, you will feel like that's unreadable. You cannot read it. It's like I have 1,000 lines of code here, because that's not for you to read. That's just for the computers to read. So all the components were created, like the website component, the website list, the page list. They are all inside here. But transferred into the regular JavaScript code. It's like impossible to read. You don't have to worry about that. Just let you know what they are. All the components were created before are transferred into the code here, right? Into the code here, multiple files. Right? It's just the way we transfer JavaScript JSX into JavaScript, so the browser can read it, right? So you can just we have index.html. You can just open with live server to check it how it looks like. Open with live server, and that's just the website that we created. That's just website that we created. So you don't have to do the npm start anymore. Npm start is more for testing. Once you're done, you build it, and you can just directly open the website. It works. And the browser can also just directly open it, and it works. All right. So that's how it works. How it happens once we finish it, and we'll transfer it to a regular website, and so browser can read it. Just let you know about that. And let's back to the topic. Right, let me close this. Right, so cd go back to the website folder. Right, so until this point, you need to be careful which folder you are in. Right, if you're in the webmaker folder, you are working on the server side stuff. Right, if you go to the client folder, you are working on the files in the client side. Right, in the client side. All right, so now we have server.js, and we also need to set it up, make it ready to be deployed online, make it ready to be posted online. So we're adding a few lines of code inside it. Checking the description here. We're gonna create a basic server. Let's create a basic server hosted on the 3100. And next step, make your server ready to be used on the Heroku. So Heroku is going to be a server we use to post our website, right? So, and in here we need to do a few things. Firstly, we need to import the path module. That just allows you to navigate through the path. You don't have to worry about that. That's also something comes together with Express. You don't have to install that separately. So basically just copy this line here. All right. So import the path library, path module. That's coming together with Express. Something we will need to set things up. And we also need the few lines here. Basically, you can just copy this whole file to replace what currently you have there. Right. So import the path, import the app, and do some couple lines of setup. Right. So this is basically just initialize it, and we also need to initialize it from here. Yeah. Oh, I actually don't want to explain this too much. I'm not sure that's necessary for you to worry about it. So, right, just for your reference, the line here, server static assets in production. That's just this code here won't be executed when you test it locally. It's only going to be executed when you send your code online. This is why here we have if cases. We're checking if the environment is equal to the production, then we execute it. Otherwise, just ignore this code here. Right, so you don't have to worry about that so much. It's just a common setup for all your applications. So like basically just in the future when you're trying to create the application, you can basically copy the whole thing we have here to make it work. Right, to set up the production mode, to create the port and listen it. Right, you can still use an npm start to run it, and you won't notice any difference here. It's gonna still see the oops, I'm getting an error here. Let me see what error this is. This is a unhandled error event. Already this incident in 3100. Yeah, I have one running here. Let me just close it. I have multiple terminals there. npm start, and server started on port 3100. Right, it won't notice any difference. And when you go to the localhost 3100, it's host localhost 3100. It still says cannot get slash. It just set up, make it ready to be posted. All right. So once we have the code here, let me see what's the next step. Finish the version. We will need to add in more scripts in the package.json. Right. You can just copy this one here. Right. Let me just copy that. I'll extend it soon. So when you paste that into the package.json for the server, put it right after the first script. We have the start, put the comma, and put this one as the second one. It should become the second one. So this is a setup just for the when we post our website online. As I said, we need to build our application from development to the production mode, and this is a live command to do it automatically for you. So when you post your website online, it's going to automatically change your code from develop mode to the production mode. Right, there's a command for that. It's also mentioned in the Express library, and it's copied from there. Actually, I think it's mentioned in another place in the Heroku website. I just copied from there. So what it does basically is it basically says when the production mode is true, we are going to cd into the client side folder to the npm run build. That's just what this line does. Right? Alright, so that's everything you need to do. The server is ready to running, and all the setups are just that. Create the package.json, install the Express library, and change the scripts, and copy the server.js file, right? So the server.js file is going to be exactly the same for all the kinds of applications. You just always copy that to the different applications you need there, right? So now we can send this to the GitHub. And before we do that, we will need to tell the Git, do not send out my node modules folder, because that contains many libraries here. It's going to be too large for that. So we're going to create a new file here. The name of that is going to be .git ignore, right? And all names, like you can mention any file name or folder name here that will be ignored when you send it to the GitHub. Those files won't be sent to the GitHub. So the one here we're going to mention is node modules folder. Once you do that, you see like the name of the node modules folder here becomes the dark gray here. That means this folder is going to be ignored, won't be sent to the GitHub. Right, that's it. So that's sending the current stuff we have to the GitHub. We need to send in the this 4 files, like the server.js, package.json, package log.json, and git ignore to the GitHub. So I'm going to git add dot git commit -m send server code to GitHub. Just send the server code, right? And git push. So now in your GitHub, you should have like the basic setup of server on outside and the client code in the client folder. All right. And now the code is ready to be put online. All right. So there are many ways you can put your code online. You can using the AWS. Right? Many of you already heard that. Like AWS, that's a web service from Amazon, and then they allows you to using their servers to host your website. Right. So when we talk about a hoster, what we mean is we are borrowing computers from their company, and that computer is going to be there running forever to do the server listening start at 3100. And basically, the computer is going to be there running forever to the npm starts. Just never going to be turned off. That's what we do by talking about hosting. If it's not by hosting, you will have to run the computer by yourself. And you still need to pay the money for your bill every month. So this is what you already do for companies right now. Because when we're using a hosting like an AWS or like this is from the one from Amazon, and we have like other one like Google also have one. It's called like a Google Cloud or something, and the Microsoft also have one. It's called Azure or something. I forget. But when you borrow a computer from them, they are going to be help you to manage your computer. You won't have to worry about what if like the power went off, or what if the computer is broken. They're gonna make sure your website is there up running there like 99% of the time. Right, in case like if there's no earthquake or something, your website is gonna be always there. Right. So we are going to using one. We're not going to using them because none of them are free. Right. So so the AWS does provide you 1 year free. It just help you if you just starting your business. It's help you to give you a first year free and allows you to start your business. And it also not very expensive. I think it costs you like about. Well, it depends on how many like users you have. Like you just pay as much as you need, as much as you use. So it really depends on like how much user you have. For the operating website we have right now, like we're still in the first year. So I only need to pay like a 0.5 months. Yeah. So because the website itself right now is still free because we're still in the first year. I just created this website like earlier this year, and we just need to pay that to buy the domain, the www.omnig.org. Just need to pay for that. So Yeah, this is the domain is very cheap. You can just pay like about usually it just costs about like $12 or per year or like $100 per year, depends on the domain name. If you have really good domain name like www like I'm not sure, you can just check in the price online. So we're gonna mention that later. So domain is very cheap, but the hosting maybe maybe more expensive. Depends on how many users you have and how fast you want your website to be. You can borrow a very old computer. You can borrow a very like a powerful computer. Right, so the price here is different. Right, it depends on the user you have. Like if you only have 10 users, a slow computer is fine. If you have like 100 users, you may need to think about using a little bit faster. If you're running a really big company like Google, you may have like 10,000 or 100,000 users. You may need like a couple more computers. Right? But the price is changed. It depends on the number of users you are hosting. Right. So now let's send our website online and make everyone be able to see that. Right. So we are going, as I said, we're going to using the website called a hoster called Heroku. Right, Google the Heroku as the first one. Right, first one. Right, I already have an account. Let me just go back to the sign out. So when you go to Heroku, I think this is going to be the, let me see, is this going to be the first page? Let me see, Heroku. If I just go into here, the first page you should be able to, maybe just here, ask you to sign up. Ask you to sign up. I can go ahead, enter your name, your last name, your email, company name, just leave that empty. And role here, you can put a student here, or yeah, just put student here. Country, put the United States. And primary developer language, choosing the, I think we have a JavaScript or Node.js here. I choose Node.js here. Right, so for the server-side language, we have like so many choices. It's not just like a client side. We only have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. In the server side, you can have many choices of languages. You can have using the Node.js. It just allows you to run JavaScript on the back end on the server side. And then you can also have like a Java, Python, if you have heard of those things, like PHP, all those languages can be used on the server side. And Node.js is one of them. We do not have like enough time to teach another coding languages, so this is also the reason we're using Node.js. And the most popular languages right now, there are a few, like Java is one of them. Node.js is also very popular. It's a new Node.js. It's coming it's a very new one. It's like coming 10 years ago, I think. It just allows you to basically using the JavaScript on the server side, which is very convenient because you do not have to learn another languages, and you will be able to make a server as good as other languages. So this is a very new one, and it depends on the company you're working in. Some companies using Java, some companies using Node.js, and some companies using PHP. Yeah, PHP is I don't think that's very popular right now, and the Python is also very popular. Yeah, so just other choices of languages you can learn in the future. Well, but again, those languages actually very similar.
So Node.js is the same here. Node.js.
Yeah, we're using Node.js. Yeah, Node.js is, as I said, Node.js is by itself is actually not a language. It just we call it a runtime. It just allows you to run the JavaScript code there without a browser. So this is why we can using the JavaScript on the server side. Otherwise, we cannot use it because JavaScript needs a browser to run. Right? The Node.js allows us to do that. And as I said, those languages are very similar. Once you learn JavaScript, it is very easy for you to learn Java. They have exactly same syntax. The only difference is that in Java you have more structures. By structures, I mean in the JavaScript. In JavaScript, you have like a number, string, and object functions. In Java, you have more options. Like for number, you have integers. You have a double, which is a float, and and in Java, like you have object, you have class, you have like more options here. This is the only difference between Java and Node.js. Have more different structures. And in Node.js, you have array. In Java, you also have array. and you have a list, you have a node list, you have an array list. It's more kinds of structures there for you to use, and you're gonna choose which structures you use in different situations. This is why the Java makes it a little bit harder than JavaScript, because it has more options there for you to think about which one is the best. And PHP, this is a very old school language. Like I don't know much about it. I used it for like about 2-3 months just practice for fun, and it is also they also share the same syntax, but there's not gonna be very similar. Like the Java and JavaScript, it has a little bit difference there. You will notice if you want to learn that. Well, I don't know too much about it. And Python is also a very easy language. It's maybe easier than JavaScript. Right? It's a very easy language. It also like very fun to write with it, because in Python there is no curly brace, there is no semicolon. You will never need to write those things. The only way the Python knows like how to separate code is the indent. Like if you write if, and you're gonna put your conditions here, and if this is true, then what's gonna happen? You're gonna make sure you have some indent here, and the code is inside here. And once you're done, you're gonna go back to start running from here. That's the only way the Python knows like how to separate the code, the indent. Right? Let's make the Python really fun to write. Well, I barely need to put any semicolon. I only need to write the curly brace. And also the structure type in the Python also is very easy. Like it's very similar to JavaScript. Once you learn JavaScript, you basically can learn any other languages also very quickly. Yeah, if you are thinking about to learn another language, I'll suggest Python to you, because Python is very popular right now, and it is widely used in all kind of industries, like to do the data analyze, to do the backend. So Python basically can do a lot of things here. And you know the AI is very popular right now, and most of AI code is related to Python. And Python can do the server side. Python can do it cannot do the client side. The JavaScript is the only language you can use on the client side. So Python basically can be another good language to learn to do something like the AI, the data analyze, the server creation, or some other stuff. Right? Just let you know. So we're gonna using the Node.js here as our primary language for our server side. Right? And I guess I'm not a Robert, and get started creating that. I already have an account, so I'm just gonna go ahead and log in with it. Right, and this is going to be your dashboard. Once you log in, it's going to show all your up running website here. You see the M symbol is actually running here. I actually have the M symbol running with the Heroku, because that's free. And yes, later we may think about to move that to AWS. So there's only downside. One downside for the Heroku is if you're using the Heroku free version, it will limit you to only have 1,000 hours per month to use. Like if you have like a lot of users and they are visiting your website like 24/7, and they're visiting your website like 24/7, and 1,000 hours per month is not going to be enough for a month. 1,000 hours. Or maybe it's enough for one website, but if you have more than one, not going to be enough. So that's the only downside for the Heroku. Another thing is like if there is no user visiting your website in 30 minutes, they're gonna put your application in a sleep mode. You see, like this is why we have like a many ZZZ here in front of the icon, right? That means the application is sleeping, and the next user who comes here going to wake it up, but it's gonna take longer time to load the website. This is why sometimes when you go to the MC website, it can take longer to load, because there's no other people getting to there in 30 minutes. Because this is the limitation they use here for that. And you can always upgrade your account to the paid version. And Heroku, I don't suggest that, because that's expensive. It's more expensive than the other ones. Because Heroku, it's like Heroku is also using the AWS server, but what it does is gonna help you to manage your stuff. It's one of the easiest server you can find on the earth that can help you manage your application. All you need to do is send your application to them, and they're gonna help you manage everything. You don't have to worry about anything. There's no setup, nothing to worry. So this is why it's more expensive than others. It's gonna cost you about, I think it depends on the account you choose. I think you can fact check it here in the dashboard or in here. Account setting, billing. Yeah, it says you can check how many hours we have. I use like 21% .79 hours this month, and mSymple used 200 hours, and other website using about like 1 hour in total. You can check in like it's totally free, right? So if you just you don't use it out of usage, it is totally free. And I think I can update it. How do I update it? I think I need to update this, the application by application. So if I want to update my mSymple application here, I think I can configure it. No, not here. Let me see. How do I change it? Here, I'm using the free tier, and you can choose in the hobby, the professional. The free is free. I think a hobby is slower than the professional one, but it's good enough for if just as I said, it's a hobby, like a side project, and I think it costs you about $7 per month. I think that's how much it was. I'm not sure how much it is right now, and the professional ones cost you like more. Yeah, I forgot how much is that, but just cost you a couple more.
It's on the website. It says $7.
$7 per month. All right, yeah. Yeah.
Now,
So.
there's one website on the free one. Did they change that when you started using it?
The free ones? The free ones you can have as many as you want.
There's one website, one worker.
Oh yeah. By one worker, I mean like just
By one login.
not one login. It's basically means like there's just one copy of it. If the server is down, your website is gonna be down. That means your website won't be there like 100%, up 100% time. Sometimes maybe the computer is down. They're not going to be guaranteed your website is going to be there. Maybe they're going to be stopped there for 1 hour or for 30 minutes before them to fix that up. Don't have to worry about that. So once you go into the real application, once you want to start your own business, and I would suggest you using the AWS because they provide the first year free. You can basically using the very good computer to start your business, and that's also very easy to set up. Not going to be as easy as Heroku, but it's also very easy. Right? Let's back to our topic. So this is a dashboard, and what you're gonna do is create a new on top right here. Create a new application, create a new app, right? And app name here you can just call it we cannot using the same name. Maybe you can call webmaker, web dash maker, and maybe put your own initial after it. It's W. It's not available. It's Shiu or something. Just give it any names you like to it. I'm gonna call it webmaker, WM. Dash SU S1. Right, you just create any app names you like, and go ahead and create the app. All right, so that's the application is created. You should see the page looks like this. All right, so there's many ways you can send your code to the Heroku. We are going to connect it to our GitHub. So that means every time when I send my code to GitHub, the Heroku is going to be updated by itself. Right, so choosing the GitHub here, deployed method, choose the GitHub, and connect it to your GitHub. It may ask you to log into your GitHub, and go ahead and log in with your GitHub, and you can search for the repository names here. The webmaker repository, you can search for webmaker, search for that, and the one I have is this one. Connect it. Right, it's connected. It's connected. And we are going to choosing the master branch. Enable the automatic deployment. Right, make sure you click on that to enable it. Right, so auto deployed. Right, it's enabled. So that means every time when you send your code to GitHub, the Heroku will automatically refresh by itself. It's gonna always grab the latest code from your GitHub. You don't have to worry about that at all after this. All right, so, and then you're gonna click on this deploy branch. Deploy the branch, and that's it. And just give it a couple minutes, waiting for that to be deployed. All right, so it's gonna go to your GitHub, grab your code, and cd into your client folder, do the npm run build, making sure the code is in the production mode, and your code is available online for everyone to see it. Yes.
Difference business. Means you might get waffles and stuff like that. Like,
Right, so it says deployed to Heroku, and it means like we can go to the website check it. That's done. Right,
we're finished up.
on the top of this page, again, you can just choose a view here. I say have a view button. Click on the view. You should be able to see the application online. Right. It also gives me a free domain here you can use. Right. You can also change that to your own domain if you own, and it also gonna give you a free one. It's gonna be the name you just give it .herokuapp.com. And like right now, if I just go here, it's gonna show my website. Right. I can still go to like Alice and login and checking the profile websites. Just everything we did before. We can have everything we did before there. It's gonna be everything is working. Right, so yeah, you can just give this domain to anyone else, and they can come there to check it. Right, so we're gonna stop the lectures right now, because later